Welcome to another episode of r/Prorevenge. If you're unaware of what this subreddit is, it's basically revenge stories that are very well planned out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Want to go on vacation and not pay us for the work? Won't be home for a few days after informing us? Sure. My grandpa is on my do not ever mess with list. In any way. Short list. 1. Taught Shotokan overseas in Korea. 2. One of the highest ranked black belts outside of Japan. I have seen security footage of some of his bar fights. It's legit. 3. Was a personal bodyguard during the 70s for some governors in our state. 4. Worked construction for decades. One of 2 master carpenters in my state, which leads to this story. During summers, I would work with my gramps doing a lot of his manual monkey labor. Shingles up to the roof, mix concrete, sand floors, keep everything tidy, etc. He'd been screwed over a few times over the years, as many general and subcontractors are. And as the years went by, his contracts for work got more and more specific. Example, payments on a certain schedule, new unexpected costs, and how they're dealt with, etc. One particular job started out pretty normal. He's hired to build a new deck with a new driveway patio for this guy. Let's call him Shitbrain. New construction, newer house, easy job. Gramps had even done work for him in the past, no problems. Deck is to be partly covered, 10 by 50 on the front of the house, 4 foot up with concrete stairs, brand new door, brand new picture window 4 by 8, driveway is to be stained, freshly poured between the new deck and the garage Grandpa built a few years ago. Guy was even going on vacation for a few weeks. We can get the job done in those 3 weeks if we bust it. Guy pays 50% of the estimated cost up front, and was to pay the remaining 50% over the agreed time. Now this first payment covered all material for the original estimate, and paid us basically minimum wage for the hours we'd put in. The next few installments would cover the subcontractor for pouring the driveway, and the remaining hourly wages. Weekend 1 passed. No agreed payment. Guy's on vacation. Maybe he forgot to set up autopay. Whatever. Send him pictures on AOL email. The original concrete stairs had been removed, new door was in place, deck was framed out, but we didn't hear from Shitbrain. Weekend 2 passed. Shiz. No pay yet, but work needs to be done. Concrete guys are here for the new slab and stairs. Let's get it done so we can move on to new jobs. Subcontractor is a longtime family friend and distant relative. We'll call him Timmy. Does us a favor and pours stains on an IOU. Send more pictures on AOL. No response from Shitbrain. Week 3. We finished our work 2 days early. Subcontractor finished their work. It looks amazing up there on a nice hill. But we haven't been paid for this work. Gramp finally gets Shitbrain on the phone. Gramp, hey Shitbrain, how's the vacation? Blah blah blah, skip forward 3 to 5 minutes. Gramps is a talker and lived in the vacation state for a few years. Great, glad you had a great time while I was busting it here. Holy hell, it's been hot. What do you think of the work? Shitbrain, oh, it looks great. We'll be home later, day after tomorrow. We're having a get together with XYZ. Gramps, well, glad you're going to enjoy it. Oh hey, seems like the bank didn't pay us on the scheduled agreement. Shitbrain, so? Gramps, excuse me? Shitbrain, so what? I'm not paying you the rest of the money. Work's done. Good luck, you old hag. Gramps, I understand. Click. Gramp, well, OP, let's get to work. Oh, and get Timmy on the phone. Shitbrain had that large garage Gramp had built years ago, and the guy let us use it to store equipment while they were out. First, the brand new door was removed and placed in the garage. Then each piece of brand new deck was removed and placed into the garage. Sadly, the posts were 36-inch deep, but hey, a 4x4 truck pulled those out of the ground nice and good after a bit of shoveling. Those were also placed into the garage. Window was also removed from the frame and placed on top of this pile. Deconstruction is much faster than construction after all. Timmy was rather unhappy as well about not getting paid, but hey, we found out that the new stairs we poured moved well enough across the new patio driveway, and some bleach took care of the stain we put onto the patio. Sadly, it had a few chips in it from all the ruckus, and someone made the time to take a diamond saw and cut all the way through the seams. Sadly, now it'll settle at an uneven rate. But all the material Shitbrain paid for, he got to keep. We even went to the garage in the evening and made sure his front door was locked. You know, for security. Even the few tools we needed for the job, which Shitbrain paid for, stayed in the garage. Fast forward 2 days. Shitbrain comes home and throws a shit storm. It had stormed and his AC had been running non-stop with the increase of draft into the front of the house, considering there was no door in the front. Of course, he threatens Gramps with a lawsuit and the police, which just makes Gramp laugh. A close relative was the assistant chief of police in our small town, unbeknownst to Shitbrain. We did everything we were contractually obligated and paid to do. All the equipment, all the materials were in Shitbrain's possession. That is, after all, what he paid us for. Shitbrain blustered a lot, but it did piss all. Fast forward a bit. No one in the local union will deal with the guy. Gramps and Timmy are both pretty well respected and do a lot of great work around town. Someone from out of town ends up fixing the issues and does a shit job of it. Darn. This is great. When I was 16, I worked for a few small contractors and I could totally see them do something like this too if they were screwed over. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, so I didn't get to have fun destroying all the brand new work. Throw a beer at me, enjoy your DUI. I did cross-post this to Petty Revenge and didn't know if this is pro or petty. Okay, to give some background to this, when I was younger, I used to work as a starter ranger for a golf course. The starter job is making sure people's tee times was kept and the flow of people on was steady. The ranger was making sure people are playing swiftly and also enforcing course rules. I sit in the shack near the clubhouse until I get a complaint most of the time. So I get some complaints on our blue course that there's some people drinking and generally being loud and obnoxious during the course of play. So I get in the ranger's golf cart and I eventually come upon these guys. I happen to notice 3 things. 1. They are just leaving their empty beer cans on the ground. 2. These guys opted for golf carts for their playthrough. And 3. They had a cooler on the course. 2 course rule violations and 1 state rule violation. So I come to this group and it has 3 people in it. I ask them kindly, would you please refrain from drinking on the course? It's against our rules. One of the people starts laughing at me and takes one of their half-full cans of beer and throws it at me, and they scurry off in their cart. Now for the revenge. They were already on the 7th hole of blue, and I did remember letting one of those guys on with a red to blue 18 rotation. We have 27 holes with 9 holes each, red, blue, gold courses. So I decided to tail back and follow them out to see what cars they were in when they packed up their gear. I do this and get the model, make, and license plate number of the car. Here's the kicker. Across the street from our course is a county sheriff, and I happen to have his home phone number. He happens to golf here a lot, and he gave me his number in case of issues. Well, this is an issue, and I call him and relay what I saw and tell him the info I got. Thankfully, these asshats went into the clubhouse to eat lunch before leaving, so it gave plenty of time to get the sheriff to wait. So when they get done eating, I decided to wait near the entrance and watch the fun go down. Lo and behold, the sheriff was there in his driveway, ready to pounce, and here comes our asshats driving out. They go left, which is the exact direction of the sheriff, and boom, flashing lights, and they thankfully pull over. The dude that threw the can at me was the driver. So I start watching some more, and the sheriff starts administering the test he does for sobriety. He falls on one, and like a dumbass, he consents to the blow test. I don't know what he blew, but it was enough that he was turned around and arrested, and then he saw me in my golf cart, waving at him with a giant smart-ass grin on my face. Don't drink and drive, and don't F with people who enforce rules on a golf course. Thanks for checking out my video, guys. I hope these stories filled you with all the feels. Also, share this video with a friend, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new, or a Karen will hide in your closet and stare at you while you sleep.